Moving further, for those who don't know me, I'm Thimantha Vidanagamage. I love working with Microsoft data platform technologies such as Microsoft Power BI, Azure Analysis Services, and Azure Data Factory. The most important thing out of all the details that you see in the screen right now is my Twitter handle at Thimantha. So please follow me on Twitter at Thimantha. Moving into the agenda for today, firstly, we'll look at Power BI licenses, basics, and semantic models. And later on, I'll be wrapping up this session by showing you how to build your first report in Microsoft Power BI. Moving right into the Power BI licenses. So there are two types of licenses. One type is Pro license, and the other is premium license. And sorry, there is a mistake in the site. Premium is not a license. It's a capacity. It should be free license, pro license, and free license. So pro license is where the basic functionality of a pro license is where you can share your reports, share your analytics with the audience, with other people. And when it comes to free license, the free license is about you can basically develop your own analytics, and you can develop your own reports, and you can just publish into your own workspace and have it there. So those are the basic, those are the core difference. That's the core difference between these two. So premium is actually a capacity. Capacity means premium gives you a dedicated capacity for you to manage your analytical workloads. So it's a mistake here. It should be free license, not premium license. Sorry about that. So let's move right into the Power BI basics. For Power BI basics, I have set up a simple demo. So firstly, we'll move into Power BI desktop, and I'll show you what we got there. So this is the Power BI desktop. So let me get you into that. So this is what you get when you open Power BI desktop. So Power BI desktop is an environment where you can develop your reports. We'll be using it a lot in this session. So this is where you will be basically developing your report, Power BI desktop. You can install Power BI desktop through Microsoft Store, where updates will happen automatically, or you can jump into app.powerbi into the Microsoft Power BI website, and you can download Power BI desktop from there as well, and basically get it installed. So this is Power BI desktop, and in Power BI desktop you have three views. You can see the side panel on your left hand side right now. So we have the report view where you build in the reports. Then you have the data view where you see the data, and you have the model view where you will see an ERD type view, which is entity relationship diagram type of view right here. So you will things will make a lot of sense when I do the demo and when I show you around. So just for the moment, keep in mind that there are three views, which is the reporting view, data view, and the model view. So and the other environment I would like to show you is Power BI service. So if I move into Power BI service, if I move right into Power BI service, this is the Power BI service that you see. So how do you access that? Is with app.powerbi. So all you need to do is just app.powerbi, and you will be getting yourself right into the Power BI service. And if you haven't gone through this link before, you will have to sign in and access Power BI service. And another quick thing to keep in mind when it comes to basics is that in order to work with Power BI service, in order to work with Power BI service, you will need your company account or an office account. Uh, Basically, a company email or an office email. Office email means a company email to work email, I would say, to sign in, because you can't use your personal emails or personal any personal emails to sign in and get your work done. So you will need a work email for that purpose. Um, Also, what happens here is, in just to give you a basic understanding, what happens here is, whatever you develop in Power BI desktop here, you can basically publish it with the publish button here, and it would go right into the respective location in Power BI service. So in Power BI service is where you share, as I told you, I think I told you previously, that Power BI service is where you share the data with your audience, right? So basically, you will have workspaces in a Power BI. You will have workspaces in Power BI service. So and another quick thing is, you can, for this demo, that what I do right in this demo, you can manage it with your My Workspace. If you can manage it if you are a free Power BI user, which means you don't have a pro license or you are not allocated for any premium allocation. So you can just do it with a free account, whatever I'm saying here. So as I told you previously, in a free account, you can't share your analytics with other people. So you can only have it within you. So have it within yourself. So that is done by this personal workspace called My Workspace. So whatever you do, analytics for yourself, you can manage it here. And in here you have basically it's the components in Power BI are categorized accordingly. You have something called content, and you have data sets and data flows, and also you have a tab which shows you all the everything that is available, and you can use the search bar here to search things around and get yourself around this. You could search simply anything here and get yourself around this if you have too many components. Yeah, that's just a basic view of Power BI. So Power BI service. So I'm just keeping this as simple as possible for anyone who had never ever used built a report in Power BI or any other reporting tool, so that it would be much more easier to grab and probably get inspired to to work on analytics. Uh, so that's basically the My Workspace environment, and those are the two key environments that we'll be working on. These two environments will make a lot of sense to you when I work on the demo, when I do the demo, when I do the report development demos and stuff like that. So this is just a basic demo to give you an overview of the environment. Just if you don't understand it up to now, just don't worry. We'll be looking at it. You will be understanding it when I'm going through the when I'll be explaining you when I'll be explaining you how to develop the report, and when I'll be showing you how to develop the report and all that. Okay, that's the demo for Power BI basics. And so for those guys who haven't built any report in Power BI, I think you guys need to get some inspiration by looking at Power BI data stories. So what is Power BI data stories? So I'll access it and show you guys that. So this is data stories in Power BI. So how you access that is just Google Power BI data stories gallery, and the very first link you get there is the Power BI data stories. So I have accessed that here already, so I would not be accessing that again here. I have accessed that here already. So what it provides you is with what people had worked, what people had done with Power BI. The different types of reports they had built with Power BI can be seen in this Power BI data storage gallery environment, gallery web page. So you have different types of reports that are developed for different types of purposes, and keep in mind that not only for your business domains, right? You can even develop it for any something you're personally passionate about. For example, if you like cricket, you maybe you can do some cricket. You can get in some cricket stats and cricketing stats, and maybe do some analytics with that. And it's all about passion that comes out from here, not specifically focused on business domain or anything like that. So even in this session, what I'll be doing is what I'll be taking you through is a specific business domain, but that does not mean you have to stick with business domains. You can just do analytics to whatever you like with Power BI. There is no restriction as such. So that is the Power BI data storage galleries for you. So please have a look at it. If you haven't built any Power BI or any other reports in using any other BI tools, so that you can understand how you should build your report and you can inspire yourself to build a report with Power BI. So that is about it for Power BI data storage, and I would move into talking about the demo data source. So the demo data source for this will be sales superstore. It's a superstore data set. A superstore data set which has the profit related figures and the sales figures and the appropriate sales figures. So I'll be doing some analytics with that to show you around. Then afterwards, then after this session is over, I'll make sure that I give that data set to Azan, or maybe I'll put it up somewhere so that you guys can use the same data set and use the recording I have used in this session to follow up and build your first report. So maybe I'll upload it somewhere and put the link in here in the slide deck and share the slide deck with you so that you guys can have a look at, you guys can do some, you guys can build your own report with it. That's it when it comes to the demo data source, and I would move into the next one, semantic model. Semantic model is one of the most appropriate things when you are building a Power BI report, when you are doing analytics. So a semantic model is a data model that is catering for specifically for end users. End users are usually business users in an organization or a company. And there are two types of semantic models. You have tabular semantic models and you have multidimensional semantic models as well. So tabular semantic models are previously it was just multidimensional semantic models, and later on tabular semantic models came up. So tabular semantic models are a lot more compressed compared to multidimensional semantic models as well. So a key thing to note in Power BI is that you can only develop tabular semantic models with Power BI. And to explain you about the concept of a semantic model, it follows a basic concept between facts and dimensions. So a fact can be sales. Basically, a fact is a numerical figure, and a dimension is an aspect of looking at a fact. A fact can be sales, and a dimension can be region, and you can you can analyze regional cells with the combination of facts and dimensions in a semantic model. So either I explain all these, I'm just setting up the base here for you. but necessarily, specifically, I will not be using a semantic model um, as my source. I will not be using a semantic model to develop my reports today, because I think there is a bit more complexity there for a first user, to a person who is developing his or her first report. So I had just reduced the complexity by cutting this off and having a flat file, and just getting data from a flat file and doing some analytics with it. So I had cut that down, so it would be less complicated for you. But it's important for you to see what a semantic model looks like. So you will know the expectation, and you will know how it should be when you are working on Power BI for business scenario. So I'll quickly show you a semantic model that I had developed quite a while back. Not for that is for the same Superstore data. Just I had just developed it for the fun of it. So maybe I thought I should show you that, to show you, give you, um, not to confuse you guys, but to show you how it actually should be when you are doing it, when you are working on Power BI for business scenarios. How actually, like, how should a semantic model be when you are doing it, when you are building Power BI reports for business scenarios. So I would show you that. So I have my semantic model here. This is the semantic model. So if you go into the model view, so these are the three views I told you. So as you can see the data now. As this is not a blank file, I had imported, I had brought in a semantic model here. You can see the data in the data view, and you will see the report development happening in the reporting view in the coming slides and in the coming demos. And this is the model view basically. Similar to an ERD diagram. I think almost everyone knows what an ERD diagram is and how it looks like. But the key here is most of the time it's a star schema. So as you can see, it's a star schema that's being followed here. Like if you organize this a bit, you can see that it's basically forming a shape of a star. So why do you use star schema? Basically, star schema is this can be a bit complicated, but just keep in mind that star schema is the appropriate way to star schema is the most appropriate way that would give you better performance in terms of analytics. But in our case, we'll not be going into such complications. So you basically, when this forms of a shape of a star schema, so in the middle you can see the sales struct table, and as you have here, and you have the dimensions that are around it. So I think you might be remembering what I told about dimensions and facts when it comes to the concept in semantic model basics. So there, what I said was a dimension is an aspect of looking at a fact. So I think that's pretty much clear for you. So you have the fact, which has the numerical figures like sales, um, sales, quantity, profit, and then you have the dimensions, which are basically aspects in which you can look at the facts based on one-to-many relationships. So that's just a basic semantic model for you and how it looks like, but don't get it into your head. You don't need to think about it right now. Just think that this would be the expectation when moving forward. This is where you will need to reach moving forward. And just to explain you, yeah, I'll be explaining the rest moving forward. Further, I don't need to overcomplicate you guys with this. So this is how semantic model looks like. Just keep that in mind, and let's keep on moving forward. And that was a demo for semantic models, and let's move into the next demo, which is one of the most crucial aspects, one of the most crucial things when building a Power BI report, which is to get your data. So without doing a lot of talking here, let's move right into the demo, and I'll show you what it's about and what it's like in the demo itself. So I'll move into I will use, I move into my blank Power BI desktop file, which I just showed you previously today, uh, before a few minutes. And in this blank desktop file, what I'll do is I will take you get data is this basically this functionality where you bring in data from a respective data source. So if I go into more, if I click on basically what I did was just for you to get an understanding, I clicked on the drop down arrow that you see under get data in the home tab, and I went and clicked on more. So when I clicked on more, it shows you all the connectors that you can use to connect and get data into Power BI. So that's what this is basically about, getting your data to do analytics with it. So it is one of the most crucial components. So when you go to more, you can see it's much more organized in here. So you have the file connectors that you can use. You can use Excel, CSV, XML, JSON, folders, PDF, Parquet, and SharePoint folder. And in database also, you have almost all the types of databases. I think almost all. Um, and also you have in Power Platform, you have Power BI datasets, Power BI data flows, Dataverse, Power Platform data flows, and Power BI data service. So that's what you have in Power BI Power Platform. And in Azure also, you have almost to every Azure data component. In here, you have Azure SQL database, blob storage, and everything else is provided here. And you have other online services as well, so I will not be going to each one of them. So you can have a look at that. Only thing is to just to click on that drop down button as I showed you previously, and under get data, and click on more, and you will be ending up here. And you have another set of connectors that are under other. So as you can see, there are tons of connectors that you can use, like almost from any data source at the moment. And some are, yes, some are still in beta, but they will be coming out with time. It's really amazing to see how it's been improving and how it's been how Power BI has been growing over the years. So that's about the connectors for you. So in this case, what we'll be doing is we'll be getting in a Superstore dataset, which is a CSV file. So what I'll be doing is I'll be going under files, and I'll be clicking on text CSV option, and I'll click on connect, and I have my Superstore file right here in the location, and I would click on that and click on open. Afterwards, you will be directed into an environment like this, into a window like this, where you should have a small snap of the data set, Superstore data, so you can see you have a lot of columns in quite a lot of columns, and quite a lot of analytics that you can do in here. But for your information, I had just simplified this, and I had thought of building a simpler report so that guys can follow up rather than going all complicated with this. Um, this is the basic snap of the dataset. So there are three key options that you can do here. One is to load the data as is to Power BI, which is with the load yellow color button you see here, and you can click on transform to do certain transformations. Would not be talking any further with that, but I'll be showing you what it is about. And cancel is to take that off, just to cancel the process. So I would not go with load because it will load the data as is. Just to show you around, I'll go with transform data and see what it's like. Transform data will take you into the Power Query web of of Power AI. So what is Power Query and what it is used for? It is basically used for data preparation and data transformation related tasks in Power BI, in a much more user-friendly way, I would say. So you don't need to know how to code. You don't need to know anything as such. You just need to know how to use these UI level components. So you have tons of features, transformation and cleansing, and tons of features around that you can use to prepare your data in an appropriate way, or prepare, transform, and cleanse your data in an appropriate way. In here, so I'll be taking you around that for a bit. I'll be taking you around the function, the transformations, and the other cleansing, and all the other tasks that you have that you have in hand that you can do with the data that you just move that you want to transform. So you have basically the choose columns and go to column option. You have remove columns option. Choose columns is to choose a set of columns, and you have split data, split column option, and you have data type where you can select the data type of your data, and you can select first row as headers in this data set. So there is no necessity to do that in this case because it's already the first row is headers. And two important features for the combining data: merge queries and append queries. So append queries, if you guys are familiar with SQL or anything like that, append query is similar to a union in SQL. So that's where you bring in multiple data sets with the same structure to one single data set. And merge queries, it's like a join condition in SQL where you join two data sets with a common key and just do some analytics with that. So that's something important, and you have some AI insights which are actually premium features. I will not be going into that level. And you have transform features, and so we have tons of features here. So I'll not be taking you through all this because of the limited time we have. Basically, this would be ideally another session that I can do about how you can build your semantic model, how you can build your prepare your data. So I'll be just going to the home tab and I'll be clicking on close and apply, which would load the Superstore data I have here into my Power BI desktop view for analytical purposes, basically to build your report. So it would be loading, and that is it for this demo. So I'll quickly move into the next demo. So before moving any further, so if you guys are interested in converting this flat file that you just saw in the screen, converting this particular flat file, I had just loaded, as I showed you, into a semantic model, as I showed you previously with facts and dimensions. You can just have a look at this blog post which I had written. It had all the details from head to tail, in terms of how you can build this tabular semantic model, and how you can convert this same flat file into a tabular semantic model. So guys, please have a look at it. Maybe I'll put that in the chat after the session, and maybe when I share this slide deck, you guys can have a look at it as well. So that's just something to keep in mind if you are interested in moving into a semantic model. I'll not be covering that, as I told you previously, because of the limited time duration we have. Moving into the next demo, we have measures. So what are measures? Measures are used for basically KPIs and metrics that are used for analytical purposes. So you create measures separately for a particular purpose, which is to reduce the model size and for faster querying of data. So measures never store data in it. So what it does is, whenever you execute, whenever you trigger a particular report, whenever you basically look at a particular report that has a specific measure, it would trigger it only that time for that particular aggregation or evaluation level. So measures are basically developed with the use of DAX. So that's something to keep in mind. And I would not be going further into DAX, because DAX can really just mess up with your head if you are a beginner. So we'll not be going into that level. We'll just simply develop our first report at this time, and later on maybe we can do sessions on DAX and model semantic model development and areas like that. So it's important that you focus specifically on keep it simple for now, and then think about moving further ahead of that. So I have a quick demo on measures as well, so I'll be taking you through that. So what I'll be doing is, I'll be creating two measures with reference to the three numeric figures that we have. So we have profit, we have quantity, and we have sales. So what I'll be doing is, I'll be creating three measures. So how I create that is, you can do that in two ways. One way would be by new measure option here. So click on your respective data source where you should create a measure, and click on the new measure option on the table tools here, and you will see the new measure option here. So I will call this sales amount, and I will be using a simple aggregate function, which is sum, for this purpose, so that I would not be using any DAX in this case. Yes, sum is also an aggregate function in DAX, but I would not be going into the depth of DAX to keep it simple for you guys. So what I would be using is, it's just a simple sum, as if you guys have used SQL before, just sum, and just you just have the column name inside that particular column, inside that particular inside the brackets, and then just click on enter on your keyboard, and you will be off. And you can either click on this tick you will see on your left hand side as well to create the measure. So as you can see, you can see the measure here. So measures does not store any data, as I told you. It's different from columns. So in columns you can see the data. You have row level data for each column. So if I take you to the sales measure, which I just sales column, which I created a measure with, you can see for each row you have a particular sales figure. But for measures, there is nothing like that. So as you can see, you don't see anything called sales amount as in here, right? Because it's a measure. It doesn't show any data in the table level, in the row level. It aggregates and provides you the data in a for a particular evaluation. When you basically trigger it, when you open a report, when you look at a report, and when you refresh a report, so that's what it's about. So that's measures, and you have something else that you can create other than the data that you get from the table, which is calculated column. I'll not be talking much about it, but you can create it from new column option here. What it does is, it's basically do specific customizations for your analytics. For example, calculations, maybe particular conditions, maybe a column with particular conditions and stuff like that. And yeah, and to extract some specific data from a specific another column and stuff like that. So that's what calculated columns are used for, and it basically stores data in your model in the row level. So that would add some increase your model size, and that would not really help your model size in a positive way at all, which is it would not lower your model size in any way. So it is important to keep the calculated columns in the minimum as possible, but for this session, of course, you will not need any calculated columns. We'll be just keeping it simple. I just told you a few points to keep in mind when moving further, because at certain times you will have to use calculated columns when you are moving further down the line. That's it I would just create the sales measure as for now. Sales measure as for now with the limited time. There's a lot of things to show. So other two measures, I might be creating that. I might create that when we are building the report. So let's just move into our next demo now. So the next demo is the report layout. So now we have got the data in place, right? We have got the data in place, and we have built the measures, and just to build your first report, you need a proper report layout that you can stick to and that you can build a report with. Before moving further in this step, before moving into the report layout and showing you how it's done step by step, I would show you the end expectation of this session, and end expectation, the report that we'll be developing and that I'll be developing step by step and showing you for your analytical purposes. So firstly, this is the report that we'll be developing. So I would move into report layout, but before that, just to show you what that this is the final output that will be coming up in a couple of minutes today. So nothing much here, nothing to worry about. It's just I had just kept it simple as possible. So you have sales figures, quantity figures, profit figures, and you have basically you have a map just to saturate in the saturated by color based on the sales amount of sales. The darker it is, the higher sales it makes. And you have sales by product, sales by customer, and I would not be moving into any deeper detail in that, but just keep in mind that this will be the final output that I'll be developing step by step for you guys. So the first step in this is to put out the report layout. What is the report layout? So the report layout is the background you see in here, and basically dropping in a headline and having a logo. So I don't have a logo here, apologies for that. So it would be nice to have a logo, and so that it would look a bit more compelling. If I just move into the data set that I started to work on scratch with, firstly, I'll lay out my background. So I had created a background with Gravit Designer, which is a background designer. You can simply design that and develop your own background with your own colors. Gravit Designer to keep in mind. Oh, if you are proficient in tools like Power BI, tools like Photoshop, you are you are free to use such tools as well. But since I'm not a proficient in graphic designing and stuff like that, I had stick with Gravit Designer, which needs minimal effort for you to do these developments. So I have done this. So as you can see, I had brought down the layout. So I have 2 pages in my report. So I will duplicate the same page multiple times. So rather than doing it twice, and basically I need a headline here. That headline would be, for that headline, I will be going to insert and text box. By the way, I'm sorry if I didn't show you. So how you bring in the background. I think I showed you that background is with this wall. You shouldn't select on anything, any other option. Without selecting on any other option, go into anything without selecting on any visual or anything. Just go into wallpaper, and inside wallpaper, you will get an option to add a background. So you can add a background, and you can edit the transparency of your background. as for the requirement, and you can set up your image fit. So fit is the right setup for me, so I'll be going with that. Rest of the stuff are not really working out well with this. Not really sure why, but that's how it goes. Uh, so that's about that. And about the heading, as I told you, I had just gone to insert and just text box. As with Microsoft Word or PowerPoint, which you guys have usually used, it's simple as that. Just I will put in here sales analytics overview here, and I would just lighten up that a bit and put a better, sorry. A better font size, and I would just put it white. You have all the tools that you need to format the text here. And afterwards, what I'll be doing is I'll be removing the background. So I'll be removing this white background with the on-off option that you see here. That's taken off. So what you do is you don't need to do this all over again. Control C, copy it, and paste it in your other location, and just let's name it details. And when it comes to report layout, the report name matters as well. So let's just put a report name here. So in here, I would say this overview. And in here, I would have the details. So the details and the overview. So we have two pages here, and that's it for report layout. So as you saw, it's just a matter of minutes when you set up the things to move ahead. Next is the report slicers. So what are the slicers? Slicers are basically another fancy word for filters that are used in Power BI. So filters, you guys might know, filters are used to filter the data. If you are a person who's developing, seeing this for the who had never developed reports before, filters are something like this. So I have um, a filter called state. So when I filter on that, you can see that the particular state related data is filtered out. Florida, filtered out. California, filtered out. So that's just about a filter. Rather than saying that in words, I think it's clear for you now. Clear for you now. So how I build the filters is I'll just build one, and I'll copy it from this and paste it there. Because of the limited time duration that we have. So first, how do you create the filters is, firstly, you can select on the slice option that you see under visualizations pane here. So this is called a visualization pane. So in here, you have the slice option. Basically, this is the visualization pane, what you see on top. You have all the basic visuals that are required in here for your analytical purposes. So I would select that slice option. So when you hover it, it says slicer. And I would want to put my date as the filter. So you can see date as a date hierarchy. Under hierarchy is something similar to an organizational hierarchy. I would not be talking in depth in this session because it's a semantic model component. So maybe when we are doing a session on semantic model development, we'll touch that area up. But for now, just keep in mind that it's similar to the sales organization hierarchy in a company. So in here, I have, so as you saw here, so I'll take that off and show you again. When I select drag and drop year to here, so when I just selected year, and I have year set up here, but this is not really the way I want. This is a slider, so you can slide according to year ranges as your preference. I don't need to go into that level. So what I do is I click on this drop down option that you see in here and click on drop down. Basically click on this arrow facing downwards on top and click on drop down. So that drop down will give you something like this. So you can filter it out that way. So it's simply the same for the rest as well. But when it comes to something like state, it's a bit different. You don't necessarily, it doesn't show a slicer because it's not a numerical figure. What it would show you is basically an entire set of options. So I'll take you through that as well, like this. So this is not really user friendly and effective for an end user. So it's not looking good as well. So what I'll do is I'll click on the same down arrow downwards and click on drop down, and it would give me the same output. That's it for the slicer. So what I'll be doing is I'll be quickly just doing a Control C and getting my slicers down to the other end. Which was apparently possible, but it should be possible now as well. Oh, I can't apparently do that, but I remember that feature. But yeah, so what we'll do is we'll just create two slices then. I don't need to take you to the same repeating task all over again. So I would click this here and click select and drop down. And the other option is I would bring in state to here and state once again a drop down. So let's have these two filters here, and just you can, it's a bit overlapping, yes. So you can just came it out, and also you can remove the background if you like as well, same thing. So you have the all the formatting options and the fields here, fields that you will be assigning, you have assigned to the specific component, reporting component here. So formatting options, in the formatting options, you have all the ways in which you can format a particular reporting component. I'm sorry if I missed that. I would have told this to you earlier. So that's it. But I think it's pretty straightforward, and anyone would simply understand this. So I had just brought in two filters, and I would just apply the same filters for here as well if it's required. Okay, that is actually done. So when I do that, it would ask me to sync whether you want to sync the slices. So there is an option called sync slices. What will happen is if you select a particular slicer filter option, if you select a particular option to filter in the first page, it would reflect on the second page as well. It sync basically. So I don't need to take things to that level. So I will click on don't sync. So that's about it when it comes to slicers. Now it's time to get down to the actual visualization level of things. Visualization, so we have, so for visualizations, before moving any further, I have a visualization guide for you guys. So that is this. So this provides you basically this is like a visualization session cheat sheet. When you get the slide, you can just access the link and check it out when you are building visuals, like what type of visuals you need to develop and all that. You can get a proper understanding of that. So I'll not be briefing you everything in here, but you guys can have a look at it and get an understanding on based on your requirements, what are the types of visuals, and just get an idea on what type of you guys can get an idea on what type of visuals that you guys can develop. You guys can plot up for analytical purposes here. So I had put up that link here. So we'll just get into the core part of it, which is report development, and I have my blank file here with the 2 pages. So firstly, what I'll be doing is I'll be bringing in the KPI cards. So to bring in the KPI cards, I will be bringing in something called cards. Cards are what you see in this option in here. So these figures are called cards. So I'll be bringing in cards for my report. So cards, I would just select on if the card option is here, which says 1, 2, 3 icon on top on here on the visualization pane. So click on the card option and I would select on sales amount. So actually, to be honest, the rest of the measures should be available as well to develop the KPI options for cards. So since I don't have the measures ready for that, I would just be going with the sales amount. I hope that's fine. But the rest would probably be the same. Let's see how it goes. So I have brought in the sales card here, and I had just omitted these two, quantity and profit for now. And now I have to begin the now I have to begin my report. So these are the attributes I had just brought in the state and provided the color saturation with cells. So that's a shape map actually. I really love using shape maps because it gives a really good look. It's really good looking in a report if you have regional analytics in it. So I don't have second choices if I'm using shape maps. Um, so you can see that here. So I had just clicked on the shape map option here, and in the shape map option, what I do is I would bring down the state as the location. And as you can see now, since I haven't provided any color saturation, you would see the same flat color for the entire US. But when you click on one, you can see that the sales amount is changing according to the respective shape. And so to provide some color saturation to it, you would select on this, click on the sales amount measure, and would provide color saturation. So you can see it's the same visual that we had before. It looks really compelling, and I have that. And what I'll be doing is I would just make this smaller, I guess. Clock is taking 5 minutes more, but let's just do finish this off. This is like the final thing I have on board. So I have the report here, and finally, so I have built the map here. So let's see the length I had given for the map. So the length and everything can be managed by here as well. So I don't really have the time to go into the depth of this. So this is, but it's pretty straightforward and anyone would understand what this is about. So I would go 314 as the height here and make sure everything aligns into that. So 314 as the height. And I would make the sales figure align into that, and yeah, that looks fine. And the other visual I would like to create from here is the sales product visual. So I would not be creating both these visuals because both these are same visuals. So I would just stick to the sales product visual, sales by product. So I have how I had created that's based on 3 columns: category, subcategory, product name, and sales, which is the measure. So I will quickly do that. So that visual is here, clustered bar chart. Oh, I think you can use stack bar chart as well. So I would click on structured bar chart, and afterwards I'll just drop in the columns that I need for the axis. So that would be category, subcategory, and the respective product name. So I have the hierarchy here, and for the values I'll bring in the sales amount, and there you go. You have the same visual that you had there. Only thing is I had drilled down in that to the next level. So drill down. So hierarchy is like the organization hierarchy you have in companies, and drill down is where you drill down to that specific level in the hierarchy, and you can drill up as per the requirement as well for upper levels. So moving up and down the ladder, moving up and down the hierarchy is called as drilling up and drilling down. So if I drill down from here, you can see I'm drilling down to a lower level in the hierarchy. So the hierarchy here is category, subcategory, product name. So building hierarchies is basically another functionality that's for semantic model development, as I told you previously. Will not be really covering up that up. And finally, I'll have the I'll have my the final visual, which is the line chart. So how I create the line chart is I would sorry. So as you can see, it would change according to that's good that it happens. So you can see that if you select a particular visual and visual that you had developed, created, and if you click on the type of visual here, it would change according to that. So if I click on this again, and you can see it changes. So what I do is I click on a line chart, and I would bring in just month for the moment. Don't need to complicate that as well. So sales amount in here, and you can see a month level analysis in here. So everything that where you need to use line charts and where you need to use pie charts and everything are given in that visualization cheat sheet, which I just showed you. We'll be sharing that over with you guys so that you guys can get a better understanding on this, and basically filter it by a particular year, and you have this page set up. So you can see it just got me a few minutes to just develop this first report that we all are talking about. I wouldn't necessarily move into the details page, but just to show you how the details page is built, I'm not going to go to any complications right now. We are running out of time. So basically we have customer name, and I'll take in custom name, region, and I guess product name. I'm just randomly picking up columns, but you guys can organize it according to your requirement. So I would bring in date as well. So you will notice that when I bring in date, the entire date hierarchy, as I told you previously, will drop in. So it might get a bit of time, I guess. I'm not really sure what's happening there. I guess it's no. So okay, so when I selected that, it came. So you can see that the entire hierarchy comes down to the report, comes down to the table. So you just want to see the order date. You don't need to see all these complications. So what you do is select an order date and just put that up the ladder, put that up the order in the report, and there you go. You have the details page as well. So that's basically how you create a report. As you can see, I just build a report in minutes. That is pretty okay, I guess. And you guys got a better understanding on this. And custom visualizations will not be really going for a demo with that, since we are running out of time. Basically, custom visuals are basically visuals that you see here. So yeah, maybe I'll show you that as well, so that you will know what it is about. So to go to custom visuals, you should click on this ellipsis and under get more visuals and go to basically click on this ellipsis and go to click get more visuals, and you have the custom visuals. These are the visuals that are not basic visuals. These are a particular set of advanced visuals that are developed by specific parties and approved by some are approved by Power BI, and some are not. So you can see this visual is not approved, and this where you see with a blue color tick is approved. So you can use this in your analytics as well, not be going to the depth of that since we are running out of time. So we have custom visuals there, and finally we'll be publishing this report into Power BI service, as I told you previously. So what I'll be doing is maybe I'll publish the report that I already have, since I don't need to save that all over again. So click on the publish option that you under home tab, publish option right at the end under share. Click on that, and it asks you to save the changes, whatever you have, and you save it, and it would direct you to a window where you can publish a report. I think I would show you this. This is like the last thing I have to show you guys. It's getting a bit of time. I'm not really sure why. Maybe I have opened 3 Power BI files here. Yeah, so till that's loading, maybe I'll take you to the rest of the slides a bit. So I have other resources as well. So you have on in place for you guys as well. You have the Power BI community where it's basically the hub for all your help and everything that you need, all your guidance. That's the hub for you. So please log into that. If you have any issues, problems, you can get in touch. You can simply post it there and get help, and there is other kind of support that's available there as well. So basically there is a blog there, and there are a lot of things that's going on there, so please have a look at it as well. Then you have Power BI tips. RBI tips is useful. I specifically don't have time to show you that, but just access the website and see. You will have many different types of tips in terms of a lot of things that you can use in your Power BI reports and stuff like that. Even templates and stuff are also there. So please log in. Please access this and see. You will get what I am saying. When you do that, so let's see whether the publish option is loaded right now. Yes. So we have the publish. When you clicked on the publish option, you have this window popping up, and you have to select the workspace as I showed you previously, in which you need to publish the report. So I'll click on my workspace, which is something any free user can do as well. So just publish it to my workspace, where I'll be only where I can only see the analytics that I do, and I can't share with anyone else. So once this is done, yeah, you will get this option where you want to open the report, and when you click on that, open the report, and there you will have the report in place. So basically you have the entire report here. So as you can see, the detailed view. Don't have much time to get you through this, guys, but if you guys have any problems throughout this session, please reach out to me. I have my LinkedIn at Thimantha V. You can connect, anyone can connect, and I would just help you out at any time in which I can. In which I can. So yeah, the purpose of this session is to help out the new users who are interested in using Power BI and haven't used Power BI before. So I hope this was very useful and this inspired me. I think in 2018 we had